Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and welcome to another week's episode of Eat Fruit Pod. I'm your girl, Kay.
And I'm Natasha Renee.
And yes, I want to thank you guys for all your support. For last week, y'all showed some mad love to Marley, and we just want to congratulate her again on her newest video, Boundaries. She's killing it, and I feel like with every video, I see like the progress and the elevation. So I just want to say special shout outs to her. But with that, we're just gonna dive into like really sad news. For me, this one like hit me a bit harder than I expected because I watched the Braxton family show, and like, you know, the Braxton family is, you know, people that have kind of like, I guess we grew up with those women for a good chunk of our lives, right? And their stories. I know it's been like highlighted on Tony, but like you've got to know a little bit of Tamar, the mom, and like everyone, you know. So sadly, it's been reported that Traci Braxton has lost her battle with cancer, and she's recently passed away. So I just wanted to say condolences to all the friends and family. And just like, what are your thoughts or feelings about it? Were you like invested in the Braxton family at all?
Okay, I definitely watched the show even before, you know, the show, the group, the Braxtons, that when, you know, after Tony came out, she had them come out. They had a single and everything in the 90s. I remember that. But definitely Traci stuck out of all the sisters. Like, you knew who Traci was. Traci didn't bite her tongue. She said what she said. Traci was the realest one out of all of them. So it was like when you knew Traci was going to say something, you either got to laugh or, you know, she said how she felt. And she was always honest on the show. She was always honest on how she felt, you know, as a sister. You know, one thing I will say about Traci is she stuck her marriage out, regardless of how people felt about Big Kev, you know. So definitely is shocking. You know, I'm praying for the family. You know, you don't want to lose a sister or even lose a daughter, especially, you know, battling cancer. And a lot of people didn't even know that she was battling cancer.
And here's just yet another public like example of people. I remember there was like a photo shared of her, and so many people were like criticizing her for her weight loss, accusing her of getting like her body done, all types of things. And it's just like, now you found out she was battling cancer. And I'm just like, this world can get really like nasty sometimes,
Very hard.
So yeah, once again, I just want to say, like, I can only imagine, because that's something else I picked up from them. It's just like, those are one of those Black families that they always seem together, no matter how much they argue or whatever, but that's real family shit. And it's just like you said, everything about Traci, 1000% agree with that. And no mother wants to bury their child, you know?
No.
So rest in peace to Traci Braxton, for real. And I know, guys, starting off so heavy, but getting into a bit of silly, sad, I don't know. Let's see how we feel about this. So Maury has officially announced that the show is coming to an end after almost three decades, 31 years.
Yeah.
And wow, like a lot of the first dramas or first inkling of like reality shows. I remember, you know, you would stay home sick from school, or literally you like run home and catch it. Yes. It's like Maury was, man, those first show I was seeing, small people with little people, with, you know, drama. The uncle sleeping with his nephew's girlfriend.
I know.
The storylines were thick and Maury, you know. That's how I even got to know Steve Wilkos, which is another white guy. I was like, this show is amazing. So I don't know, it's like bittersweet, because I'm like, in this climate, I can't see how a show like Maury would stay true to like what they do and be present in 2022 with like this cancel culture and all this stuff going on. But that's a hell of a run for a show, especially with what they were promoting.
Yes, the drama that dwindled on that show and kept the show going. So yes, it is bittersweet. Like when I saw that, I'm like, that can't be true. Like Maury. But I mean, if you think about it, especially if it's been running over 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, Maury, you know, he's married to Connie Chung, you know, she retired years ago. So maybe she was like, look, you need to retire this out. Because, you know, at one point the show was filmed in New York and then he moved it from New York to Connecticut. So I mean, it's been a couple of years. I know it's been over 10 years that it's been in Connecticut, but I remember that he moved it from New York to Connecticut when he had started talking about why he moved the show and everything. I mean, Maury is you are the father. That is
man. No matter how much I'd study that man to see how he would say you, to be like, all right, this is gonna be a knot, or this gonna and he was just
straight, like you
and like
aren't the father.
What? I was like, man, like, and he gave us even the recap episodes. He's the reason my mom would threaten me and be like, yo, I'm gonna send you to boot camp because she see that shit on Maury, you know. Yes. So like, it's definitely, I know it's not what you want to say is like a part of us growing up in our impressionable years, but like it definitely was. It was a staple.
Like people weren't getting DNA tests; they was going on Maury for it because they couldn't afford it.
1000%. And like even up to this day, you see someone on stage and some dramatic news drops, and they run behind the stage. Mm-hmm. You know that's like solidified with Maury. Like, oh my gosh! And the cameraman just. Like, gosh, damn it. So like it definitely, and I feel like, you know, on a more serious note, when you get into just, as I said, reality TV, a lot of these shows we grow to like and to love, I feel like Maury was definitely like the blueprint for a lot of shows and how they were able to, you know, get the green light for their shows and move forward.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
And stars were born from Maury. Like hood stars, you know, but they were still stars in my eyes. Like, man. So, yeah, you're right. His wife was like, you listen here. It's time to stay home.
70. Like Maury he may look. I will say Maury does
he
not
looks good.
Yeah. But Maury is old. That's why I'm like, Connie was probably like, you need to sit down now.
I hope, fingers crossed. I hope he's okay though, and in 100% health.
That's and like the first thing you think when you hear somebody's retiring.
And with everything happening, it's just like, you know, you don't know what to think. Like even nowadays, I'll see like a headline starting with the celebrity's name, and I'll be like, don't tell me they passed away, or don't tell me, like, it's just so like triggering these days. But shout outs to Maury on 31 seasons, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Comedy gold.
I mean, think about it. That's the longest talk show that's been running. Because
I would want to say because like Jeopardy was pretty long.
It up, so it doesn't count. He switched it.
He did, and all I remember Maury switching was the set. So maybe that's when he went to Connecticut, like you were saying. Yeah, but that, like, when I seen that, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this. Is it sad? But like, I get it. In this time, I don't see it being able to, like, I don't know. Somehow they give him like a green light, but still, I feel like somebody gonna say something on Twitter. Like these days, even, you know, well, we'll get to it, but like every other week, someone's trying to come for Diddy or something he did in the past. You know what I mean? So it's just like, Maury's probably also trying to just protect himself.
Yeah, and syndication anyway. He's still gonna make money off the show because nobody's gonna stop playing Maury. I'm sorry.
To get certain funny clips, I will legit go on YouTube and search episodes of Maury.
I sit on Facebook. I was just sitting on Facebook watching a couple of Maury clips last week about the lady who, unfortunately, she passed away, but he brought the kids together, all her kids. Yeah, he had brought all the kids together. It had been like over 10 years since they had seen each other, and they had came on, and one guy wasn't the dad, but he did adopt the son that it wasn't his. Yeah, like, so it's
that's what I'm
definitely
saying. Like, Maury would give you some deep, and then he'll spin the block back and be like, an update on how the family's going. I'm like, damn, like, we want to know about them.
She tested 20 men and still couldn't find the father.
Right? I was like, oh man, sis. Oh man. Yeah. So that's like, no, because not even Judge Mathis and those shows were that long. Like, Maury really, it probably was the longest running one for real. With that also being said, you know, more Kanye news. Lots, like, it's, I hate that it's a trending topic every week, but also I feel the importance to like discuss certain things without, like, I feel like overstepping, because this is also like a part of our culture, and this is something we're experiencing in real time. And like, when you look back, these are things that people are going to discuss, or I guess want to gain more insight into him and things of that nature, right? So, you know, recently I think it's been confirmed, but for now I'll say rumored, that Kanye West has officially been removed from the Grammys performance lineup. This is after him being suspended from Instagram for 24 hours, saying that he's causing emotional distress, etc., to others. I'm assuming those people would be Skeet, aka Pete Davidson, eat fruit and mind your business, Hughley, and I think what really pushed it maybe over the line was when he called Trevor Noah a coon. So just what are your thoughts on it? Like, what's happening? I know it's like a lot to like keep up on, from the new girlfriend to this, to that, to that. It's like so much news bouncing back and forth. I feel like I'm watching the Kanye versus the Kardashians in the news headlines, like literally.
He's spiraling down whatever path he's going on. And I mean, even if I you brought up the D.L. Hughley thing, and like when Steve Harvey kind of said what he said, I was watching a live with a lady named Trey Carnley. I apologize if I say her name wrong, but she even said it. She was saying that, like, you know, why isn't anybody offering this man help? Like, at this point, you see him going down this road. You see it's not good. Steve, why are you saying this man can beat you up versus let's help you? You know, you see this Black man, you know, who does have mental issues. It's very obvious. People do know that he has them. So this is not something that we're making up, but yet no one is reaching out to say, like, let me talk to you. Or even on the video, everybody want to post videos on to talk down on them. Like, where are the people saying, like, you know, we got your back, Kanye? And, you know, as much as I'm always against Kanye, like, I'm not against this, because it's obvious that something is wrong, you know. And I understand why they pulled him from, you know, the show and everything, because of, I'm hoping, you know, because of his mental state. But my thing is, why isn't anybody helping at this point? Like, it's no longer fun and games. It's no longer laughs. Like, we need to really, like, people need to be campaigning to help this man, you know.
I don't know. A part of me feels like, not that he's fine, but like a lot of us are dealing with mental health issues. And that's not to minimize what he's going through. But I'm seeing a lot of Black men and single fathers, you know, speak up. And it's just kind of like, yes, but as I was saying last week, I don't see him doing much different than what I see other people doing all the time on Instagram. So it's just like, because he's such this like polarized figure, and they know publicly that he had to go to the hospital due to his mental health. I feel like anytime something happens now, they're always going to attribute it to that. And I feel like a part of me is really starting to feel like, you know, standing for Kanye in the sense of just like, if he were to take other routes, they would be quick to say, oh, typical Black man, or of like, no matter which way I feel like he goes, they're going to have something to say. And I just feel like it's, as I said, and I've said it again and again, I could see why Kim as a woman is just like, I've had enough. But when it comes to now, Kanye being like, I want my kids to go to church. To me as a Black person, that does not sound crazy. Even if we don't go to church now, or we chose different like religions or faiths, a lot of us have grown up in the church, whether you went with your parents, your grandparents, that's kind of like,
grandma gonna make you go.
You get what I'm saying?
Mama, I don't care what mama believe in. You at grandma's house on Sunday, you going. It don't matter.
You get what I'm saying? For Saturday night, you better pack your
you better clothes, have a dress on.
Everything. You know what I mean? So it's just like, to me as a Black person, that doesn't sound crazy, but I can see how white people make it a thing, kind of like they do everything that Black people do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they have a way to place things. And also it's just like, they were a family, like a legit family. And yes, it's been evident that, you know, maybe he's saying he's over it, she's saying he's over it. But I feel like at the end of the day, when people have kids, there's a like unspoken bond there, whether they want to admit it or not, that they're always tethered like with, you know? And it's like, all right, he's publicly, I'll go with the story. He's publicly picking on Pete Davidson. But like we spoke about, those text messages, and that's probably only one set of text messages we actually seen between him and Pete, like, you're super wilding. Like, how are you gonna tell me you're in bed with my wife, you know, and take a picture and send that to me? Thanks. Like, and at the same time, as like women, let's be honest, right? I see, I mentioned it last week as well, but I feel like, why aren't these stories about Pete Davidson and how like he was kind of like, you know, things with Ariana Grande?
I was literally about to say he does not have the best track record, especially, I was literally about to say that. Like, let's not act like he's innocent. Like, no, not at all.
And I feel like I'm not dissing what like Pete Davidson has built of his career, like with SNL and those type of things. But I feel like Kanye, either way, whether he is more successful or not, I feel like he has more to lose as a Black man. And like, how convenient. I feel like right now Pete Davidson is being like the famous side nigga, the famous rebound guy. You know what I mean? And
like, he just care about being in the light at this point and is igging.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm starting to look at it now. I'm like, bro, you know the situation. You know that like who this woman's ex-husband is, and no matter how much she was like feeling for you or whatever the case is, whatever the drama is, because there's a lot of things, as I said, trickling out of the background, you know, where it's just like, okay, to a certain degree, bro, you had to have known what you were walking into, what you signed to be okay with. And it's just like, if you're going to be my side nigga or my rebound, I should stop saying nigga because I'm talking about a white person, but if you're going to be my side person or my like rebound person, right? It's just like, have some class about it. You know what I mean? Like, even in my time, I haven't been like perfect in all situations. You know what I mean? And like, you know, there is a class of men that like, they use that as like a threat, you know?
Yes.
They use it as a threat to use the woman to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna sink this whole ship if you don't want me, like, if you're not gonna admit to like, and it's just like, bruh, like, we had an understanding. You knew you weren't like number one. Like, what is? So it's just like Pete is really, and at the same time as well, on the other side, I know that he wouldn't feel as bold and whatever if like Kim wasn't championing this behavior. And I'm like, is this what white men with big D's act like? Because you feel like you got something that a lot of Black men are popular for. I'm saying a lot. I'm really not.
No, and you know what is crazy, because I was, if you look at him and look at every single person that Kim has dated, like, he's that guy who, like, I have to stand out. Like, I feel like he's trying to, because I mean, he honestly, he doesn't compare to any Reggie Bush, the other guy that she dated, like, really, I'm
What's
looking
his
at
name?
you like,
Something
why is she dating
Humphrey,
you?
right?
Yeah. Yes, right.
And it's cool, girl. Get your swerve on, whatever. But it's just like at the same time, I'm not gonna act like from the moment you were stepping out of the hotel with the KW earrings, you were okay with everything for the lit life up until a certain point. I don't know what your point was because I'm not in your home. And I don't know what Kanye's point was because, once again, I'm not in their home. But a part of me, when I'm looking at it, I feel like when he started getting more aligned with his Christianity and his roots as a Black person, or not even like really finding out his history more and learning that. There were even rumored to say like he took her to like Africa, like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like white people are down with it until it gets really real.
Yeah.
Because when it gets down to that, their side of the history isn't the best. You know what I mean? And I feel like he was really making sure his children grow up Black.
Knowing that they're Black.
And I feel like that's where we started seeing pushback when he's talking about, look, if we had another famous, say if they were a Black and Black family, a Black, like, male, female, or whatever partners, and he said, all right, wifey, we're moving, or all right, partner, we're moving to Wyoming. I bought this big dirty land. We're going to make housing, whatever. Is that not what Black people are fighting for and striving for and working towards? But it's, don't get me wrong, there are things I like about Kim, so don't get me wrong, guys. I'm just really seeing what I feel like I'm seeing now.
Right now. Yeah. No, because even like I said, like, I was so for Kim in this whole situation, but at this point it's kind of like enough is enough. Like, it's just beyond a whole mess at this point.
1000%. And it's just like, as I said, Kanye has more to lose than her, even as a Black man. Even if he comes out as being innocent, look at what, it's probably not the best example to use, but look at even what happened with Chris Brown the other day. It was fire and brimstone when he was getting accused of raping this woman and all sorts and sorts. And it so was revealed that Shorty was just squirting because he changed his mind, or he said nah. You know what I mean? And it's just like how that got swept under the rug. And I'm not cool with that. I'm not one of those women that are like, these women get to say these things about our men, and then when it comes out that they're lying, it's just swept under the rug. Like, what are the repercussions for that? That's someone's like name. That's someone, he already has enough on his name. Super wild. But I guess in my with Trevor Noah, now he's backpedaling, if so you say, and he's like, I said to counsel Kanye, not cancel him. And I'm like, bruh, like, if you're gonna be the host and you're here saying something, and the Grammys is known to be very political, you know that what that was gonna do. The Grammys already have low ratings. They just keep getting lower and lower. The last thing they want is to have someone that has just been banned from a social media platform be on their program and have their things getting shadow banned and etc. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I mean, it's like I said, especially with Trevor coming on, just stay quiet. Let them decide and make their own decisions. Like, let's like kind of, and the thing is you keep pushing this man, so he's gonna keep doing the things that he does. But if you stay silent and just what they say, just ignore the person. Like, they'll get quiet when people start ignoring them, and it's like people are just putting fuel to the fire at this point.
And as well, like when you really, as I said, it's not like Kanye is a poster man for Black single fathers and etc. But we can't deny that a lot of the topics and things that he's bringing up is very true, you know?
Yep.
And yes, I'm not going to deny that, like, nobody told him to get with Kim, etc. But we're here now. Yeah. And we see the world and how many blended families and mixed children are coming about. You know, it's becoming more and more normalized. It's very rare that people are staying within their culture or with their type of people while procreating. So it's just like, or even adopting, or whoever ways people like build their families. So what does that look like? And I feel like 15, 20 years from now, I feel like maybe the unpopular things that I'm saying now, people are going to maybe feel that way or start saying those things or be like, wow, like when they see more and more how things are changing, like, but I'm not going to get too much into my nerd bag, but like eventually,
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like at this rate, I don't know if in 2050 there's going to be much original Black people or original white people. You know what I mean? Because everyone's starting in this melting pot. Well, moving forward, I was really looking forward to Coi Leray featuring Nicki Minaj, this song, Blick Blick. And I love it. I do not care. I probably stream it like 20 times a day since it came out. And like, I said, like, I'm just, yeah. She got me. I love me some Coi. Nicki is doing her thing. And it was the verse was stupid. So
yeah,
I love it. What do you think of the song?
I was definitely feeling the song. The video kind of surprised me, but now I need to do a little twerk now. I'm like, okay.
What part of the video were you like questionable about?
No, it wasn't questionable. I know it was one part where she had like the heels on and was like had her arch back. I was like, okay, like what we doing? All right, let me take some pole lesson classes or something. Cause I'm like, how you put your leg right here and then arch? I'm like, okay.
Flexible. Gotta get back on that yoga. I'm telling you. Listen.
That one part caught me. I'm like, because everything else, I'm like, okay, but that one part, I was like, hold on, her leg. Her she's sitting up, on like got her knees, that whole Megan dip and everything. I'm like, all right, I like this.
Right. And it's just like I've always like I didn't need Coi Leray to do all this to know that she could do this. I feel like she knew what she was doing. She had her tomboy swag. She knew when she was ready to change it up.
And that's what I liked about it too.
She did. And it's just like I knew she could do what the other girls do as well and still look slamming and rep for the skinnier women out there. So I fucking loved it. I feel like Nicki, as a feature, she came and did more than what she needed to do. Coi Leray has now gotten another number one, And I'm just so happy that it worked out and her father, Benzino, did not like ruin this experience for her. Well, not like ruin, but like have the whole thing be thrown away. Like Nicki was kind of planning to. The video, I love the colorization. I realized like the stuff that Nicki's been involved with, she's been putting out more things along this palette, like the skittly type of colors. So I'm feeling it. What else was there? The outfits were popping. I like the scenes. and it was literally like crack. Like every time it finished, I was like, oh, it's already done. Well, gotta pull it up. Like they got me. Like, is there more? Like, no, you gotta watch it
I will
again.
say that because I'm like, when it was over, I'm like, the song is over. Like, it definitely was like you needed more, and especially what you said, the outfits, and you mentioned her, like the tomboy. It wasn't too sexual, but it was still like with the Dior piece, and then the
Oh, she
baggy
had on some
pants.
black pom pom shorts when she was. I
Yeah,
was like,
that was the thing with the heels and the
yeah,
pom
yeah,
pom
yeah,
shorts.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was still like when they went back and forth to the scenes and stuff like that, it
Yeah.
wasn't over sexual.
It
You know,
wasn't.
even with Nicki, it
Yeah.
wasn't over sexual. Even though the song, now the song.
I don't even think the song was over
No, but I'm
sexual.
just saying the words compared, like listening to the song, and it's like, hold on, but it wasn't over sexual. That's what I mean. Like if you listen to the lyrics of the song and you see the video, if stuff was bleeded out and looking at the video, you wouldn't really think, oh, that's what we're talking about right now. But yeah, no, I definitely was feeling it.
I never
overall.
took notice that, so I will go back. Maybe they got me, and I'll see if that pointed out to me, because I was just too busy singing and like, but it didn't like register to me, like the difference with the song and the video, and like how they were trying to like. So I'm gonna go back. But like a lot of things Coi and Nicki were saying, I ain't got no problems with it. Like, shoot, he better lick it, okay? He better.
Yes.
He better, okay? So Blick Blick is definitely on my playlist. Love it. And as I said, Coi Leray is definitely one of the young people that I feel like she's her own individual. I still can't come up with the name to be like, oh, she reminds me of this or reminds me of that. Like she is Coi Leray.
Not plasticky. She's just a regular young woman who you're paying attention to her.
Embraces it all. Her braces, her tomboy looks. And she was already, I don't know if they're still together. Eat fruit, but mind your business. Her and Pressa, you already know Pressa from Toronto, so it's just like you catch vibes, and it's dope. Speaking of, it's not the best energy, but Mase dropped Oracle 2, the liberation of Mason Betha or Betha. I don't know how to properly say it, but this man, like, I don't know. Like, I do know what happened, but I don't know what recently happened for this man to be like, I'm going to go in on love like this, AKA Diddy. And he went super in. Were you able to hear the track?
I mean, right from the beginning of the track, it was like, I'm like, oh, that's how we starting this right now? I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, but even if you think about when Mase came out, during the time that he came out, after, like, he was there right during the time when Biggie was out and around his passing. And then all you saw was Mase was the poster boy, a bad boy. And then the locks came, and then it was like, where's Mase? Cameron came, even though Mase put Cameron and them on, like, people fail to realize that part. And it's like, where's Mase? But then we hear all this stuff about Diddy, Puffy, Love, and his contracts. We've heard so much about these contracts, but then again, before, like I said, when people don't understand it's a business and not friendships, and I think that's where that could have happened. But yeah, I heard it. Everybody knew it was some stuff between them, like, but he let it be known that, like, we ain't good, like, we still in the same place.
Like I said, I don't know what wind blew where to make him go like this hard. And I just feel like there's still a part of me where it's just like, all right, bro, I don't deny any of the things, even what you just mentioned, or the fact of like, we know it was his pen that like pushed a lot for Bad Boy. Yep. But even the stuff he was saying about like him knowing how to capitalize off death and pay them out and all that type of stuff, I'm like, bruh, at the same time, there's niggas like Loon, where I forgot his real name now, but it's no disrespect, you know, where regardless of what happened, he was like, I made sure my shit was right with Diddy.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I can't deny to a certain degree, even what we're seeing with Meg Thee Stallion right now in 1501, is just like, you're playing certain cards, but at the end of the day, you had a choice and an opportunity. And that is how a lot of these feed on you, where it's just like, you want it now, you don't want to wait, you don't want to get the proper lawyer to look at things, whatever the arrangements were. And then now later on in life, when you're seeing people surpass you or get things that you definitely do deserve, don't get me wrong, but bruh, like the time is past, or, you know, it's kind of becoming gimmicky now, where it's just kind of like, all right, we get what he did, but if there's like some feasibility to it, can you please not bring him to court, but like do what you gotta do.
Bring it to light, because I feel like, and this is just me paying attention to other people that love Puffy, whatever you want to call him, who were signed under him. I feel like it must have been an album that Mase had to release, because if you think about it, Mase just stopped rapping. And the only thing that I can think of for him to completely stop is that album. You know, you have a certain amount of albums that you have to do. You can't go to anybody else's label until you finish these albums, or you have to wait a certain amount of years until you can release something new. And that's the only thing that I can think of, because I remember 112 had to, or even the Locks, they had to release like that last album under Bad Boy in order to move on. But I feel like nobody probably wanted Mase. You know, even though he was good, he was too like the Mase that we always heard about that was in the streets, and the Mase that Puffy showed, he was gimmicky, he was commercial. So even though all I hear is, oh, he was hard, one of the illest rappers, but you think of Mason Betha, like you think of dancing when you think of him. So what could have happened too is nobody wanted him afterwards. And like you said, until you say what happens, you know, it's like over 20 years. You a preacher. Like,
go get your bag, and you're doing well.
And you got a whole church.
You're doing well for yourself. Yes, you could be far off if he were to find it in his heart to give you what you deserve. But like at the same time, I feel like this is also the issue with having like, well, everybody was young, everybody was growing up, but like in the sense of like having these hood people and then bringing them into the corporate world, you know, for me, certain things aren't like going to be or are such a huge transition, because I've had so much corporate and office experience versus people. These are like a lot of the stories we know from back then, artists that we love, they literally were taken off the corner and brought into these huge buildings. So it's just like you're sticking a gun or whatever the case is to get your way or get out of your contract, et cetera, et cetera. It's not, for some it worked, for some it didn't. And it's just like, we can't, while it sounds, I don't even want to say like, it sounds like, yes, you are saying the right thing. And I don't doubt that Diddy has wronged you, but at the same time, like, you always had a choice, and you can really get this lawyer and bring him to court.
And you got the money.
But I feel like there's also something inclining in the back, and Diddy's not saying nothing. He's been just real love about it, you know, where you're not pushing that far, as I feel like
it's more than what we know.
Exactly. So I feel like it's even like, sorry, you look at this like Jay-Z, Damon Dash thing, like, yes, NFT and whatever, but it gets deeper than what we're being told. And a lot of the times these people, even when they're doing these public things, it's like they're sending out warning shots or speaking in between the lines. Only that person on the other end knows really what they're talking about versus like us as the spectators of like everything that's happening. So overall, I will say like Mase has always had a fire pen in my opinion. And in the rank of diss tracks, it wasn't no ether, but he definitely like, if I was Love, you know, you probably would have gotten a call from me or someone gonna reach you about something. You were wilding a little bit, but as well, I see the industry not really giving it that push or that light to be like, hey, look at this, listen to this. So that says a lot to me without saying a lot.
No, it's true. And that's when we question what really happened.
1000%. Was there anything else you want to say about the Mase track? Or like
no, not at all. Like you said, you know, Mase has always been a good rapper. It's just, for me, it's just like, well, it's, you know, because of that image, that shiny suit, you know, puffy jacket, it's so hard to see him. And then, you know, being a preacher now, it's just so hard. Even though he's a great rapper, it's just so hard to put him in that category because of the image that we have of Mase.
1000%. And like older people like myself or older, like we know, all right, Mase ain't nothing to play with. He was really a gangster nigga, like, you know, but to this generation, they're
like,
you know what I mean? They're like, the guy with the silver suits, like, you know what I mean?
Right. Dancing around.
Right. And some more music news. It's been reported Daddy Yankee says he is retiring and going on a farewell tour. Wow. And not that like that music is at the forefront for me, but that is definitely one of the artists that I know their songs when it came on. I have a great time to a lot of his music. And I feel like I don't know how the Latin community or the Latino community feels about him, like on a whole, but I will say he is an artist that has definitely made a name for himself. And he's had quite the run. And once again, I'm just hoping that this isn't something bad happen as to why he's kind of running ahead of it. So, or also it could be like now that the world is kind of opening back up in terms of like shows and concerts and restrictions and all of those things. There's a lot of things that we as fans may not understand, but like a lot of things that have changed in the show business, and maybe the costs are way crazier and maybe the amount people make from shows, et cetera, et cetera. And that's like Daddy Yankee. All of those things. What are your thoughts on this like retirement and announcement of farewell tour?
Kind of surprised, but not. And I mean, not because of age, you know.
How old is he?
People, like he's not old, but you know, a lot of people are trying to like artists are really trying to, the older ones tend to family and, you know, work on businesses. I'm hoping this, but
45.
Yeah, that's what I said, in his 40s.
What?
But you know, you think of him, when you think of Daddy Yankee, the first thing you think of is reggaeton. So he definitely has, you know, made a name for himself. You know, that's what we know him as, you know. As far as, you know, bringing it to the States, it was something different, and it was on everything for like years.
What?
You heard that reggaeton? Yeah, you know.
I was well up in the school dance.
So he definitely had a good run.
He did. 45. I'm shocked. Like I'm still like reading it. Like damn. Like you look good. You look good. Yeah.
So I mean, and then like you said too, if we really think about it, the concerts, what's going on, people getting hurt, then also if COVID playing a mix, you know, because for example, I bought tickets for the Roots concert, the Roots Picnic in June. And it's saying like showing proof of COVID and all this. So I'm like,
that's probably gonna change.
Yeah. So, but, as people are still putting these restrictions on. So that could be it too. A lot of these artists know, and I'm not saying anything against people who've gotten it, vaccinated or not, but a lot of people haven't. So, 1,000%. It restricts them to go to certain places or do certain things. So, and that's messing with people's money.
Well, even on that, like even here in Toronto and Ontario, like today was actually the first day they've now lifted like the mask requirements, unless like the business requires it, but the government isn't like requiring it. And it was very indifferent because I myself, I'm still wearing my mask. Like one y'all, all I'm hearing is bear achoo and cough cough. So I'm definitely still wearing my mask, but a lot of people are already mask shaming me and saying to me, "Oh, don't you know?" And I'm like, "I know."
Are you serious? You told me this before, but
right? I felt it coming. I'm like, it's a choice, and like I'm choosing.
It is, because I still protect myself.
People are coming closer in my face, and I'm like, "You really want me to not wear a mask?" Like, nah. Like, and it's just a part of it as well as like I'm conditioned, I'm used to grabbing, or like we spent like the last 2-3 years of our lives.
3 years, yeah. First thing at first, you get out. I forgot it.
Now,
yeah. You put it on and you walking in like, why nobody got their mask?
I become a bit looser in the sense of like, okay, maybe if I'm taking a walk outside, and it's like at a park or something, and I know I'm not like directly with anyone or walking a trail, I maybe won't have my mask on, but I'll have it on my wrist just in case I see a crowd or like things of that nature. Like even there was a meeting the other day, and like they tried to have us all in the room, and I was wearing my mask, and like people are just like, well, next week. And I'm like, here we are.
I'm not laughing, but
and here I am still wearing my mask.
Like, all when you tell me this, like people are really saying something to you about it.
All people are ripped down all of the sign that say like mask required and whatever. Like I'm telling you, white people could not wait. I'm not just putting out white people, but most of y'all could not wait. Like even at work today, this girl like disinfected shamed me, if that's a thing. Like I was like, oh, because the Lysol wipes had finished. And I was like, oh, like I just wanted to know where I can grab some more like when it's finished, because every time, they'll come or whatever, I'm gonna just do a little wipe. I'm wiping everything. Yes. I'm wiping my keyboard, I'm wiping my mouse, I'm wiping the handles of the chair, I'm wiping the phone.
That's before COVID. Like
I was already that person. But it's like now somebody always has something to say, and she's like, oh, I always see the streaks, and I'm like, well, like, and then when you call in sick now, or say God forbid you get someone sick at work, you're gonna hear et cetera, so you know what, in a sense, Daddy Yankee, you're 45, probably turning 46, like you're probably like, I've done enough, I ain't got time.
That's what I'm saying. He probably wanted be with his family instead of being out, he still, and again, he still has music that he's still going to be making money off of. So yeah,
definitely his catalog is stupid. And another thing, sorry, since we were still kind of on the topic, is I know a lot of people are upset too, because a lot of these workplaces, I'm not sure about out where you are, but a lot of these workplaces like basically threatened and fired a lot of people that decided not to get vaccinated. And then now, like as of today, even last week, they started dropping it to be like, oh, vaccine mandate no longer required, and this and that. And I'm like, wow, like you really use people as a science experiment. Not that it was a surprise, because that's what we were saying the whole time, but it's like the way the government just be like, no, you lying. And then come out and be like, no, you were right, but we ain't gonna tell you that. Just chug along. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
No, I know a lot of places here, if they said you had to, they're still sticking by it. Like, even if you return back to work, they're still sticking by it.
Well, even one of my positions is with children, and they tried it. And what are we, day one? Not even the end of the business day. They were like, yeah, so we know that it's mask not required, but due to the environment. Yeah. And I'm just like, I got to tell y'all that every time I see y'all pit me, yellow snot and colored snot be coming out. It ain't even clear, right? I could be like, you know what? Maybe it's a little
Them
dust.
kids be having all,
nasty.
And they're the main ones that's spreading it. Like, I remember my sister went to a kids party and my other cousin got it. Like,
everybody,
everybody.
So I will say, I'm not going to tell y'all what to do with your body, but if you see somebody out there disinfecting and wearing masks as they please, just let them be. Let them do what it do, because I'm trying to see 2050, 2060, God willing, So I ain't got time for you guys to be telling me and be shaming me. And if you decide not to wear your mask, I'm never going to see you and be like, why don't you have on a mask? You know why? Because I have all my things and I know business what you want to do. The only person I'm cussing about it is my parents. Because I literally just be like, what are you doing? Like, come on now. I know I went on a long-winded tangent about that, but I just like, it was irking me today. And I was like, yes, streaks of cleanness, ho.
like regardless of, just know it's clean and sanitized.
Right? Like, she knew not to ask me, do you think I'm dirty? Because you don't want to hear my answer. You don't want to hear my answer. I was in the bathroom stall, and literally, I really try to avoid using the public restroom as much as possible. But these days, sometimes you just gotta go. Right. And I went, and, I respect the people that as soon as they hear you come in and they're in the stall, they'll wait for you to get in the stall and then hurry up and get out. But I don't want you to hurry too fast, because whoever that person was that came out of the bathroom stall, literally, this was the pipe. I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. This is why I always grab extra paper when I'm opening the door, and I use my foot as a juncture to keep the door and slide through, because listen to me, y'all are nasty. And I bet she wouldn't even tried to turn on that pipe had I not have been in there.
No, I definitely agree, because I'm the person, when I wash my clothes, I have a lot of tissue and paper towels that are in my pocket.
Don't tell me you have, when the dryer is opening up, it's just an array of, girl, check your pockets.
So mad. My daughter be like, why do you have so many paper towels? Look, I'm washing my hands. Just know that they're clean.
Literally. So, you guys just, already I seen Twitter reports coming in, and the numbers look like they're going back up again on these cases. And I'm like, let's see what happened come Easter time. I'm giving it till then. What, Easter falls somewhere around like April 18th. We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see, because y'all are wilding out there. I'm looking at these parties, and I'm everyone live your life. You know what? I'm not even shaming, but it's literally like that clip of the is it Shamar Moore? He's going like this, and they're like, just like, when the next day when you're like, I'm not feeling well, or my throat is sore, or whatever the symptoms may be, like, I don't know why you're acting surprised, as if you were outside like nothing was happening.
Yeah, I move around too much to be like, I always keep my mask on, because I'm always on the go and I'm always traveling back and forth. So no. Sorry. I am the one that's in the grocery store. Everybody don't have one on, and I do. Oh, well. Because I'm moving around too much to be like, I don't want to put anybody in jeopardy or get it, and I'm spreading it because I'm on the move all the time. So, yeah.
And let's be honest, we don't have that privilege like these richer upper echelon people to just be like, have these times off, and work isn't paying for these. Like it's not whatever they're promoting out there. It's not actually what's happening. A lot of families cannot afford to be homesick. period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, you know, my guy, the delivered guy, wear your mask. But I'm not gonna tell y'all what to do, but I'm just saying that's what he said. I just want you guys to be as safe as possible. So
Definitely.
enjoy your life. I think that was good fruit salad for this week.
I think so too. wear your mask.
Now, I wish I could find that clip. He was so, the way he pulled it down, he's like, wear your mask. Like, listen, people, it ain't gonna do nothing. Just brush your teeth better. Use mouthwash, all these things. Like, these are the real things people don't want to be telling you why they don't want to wear your mask. The dental hygiene is poor. Step your game up, okay? Was there any like final thoughts or, oh shit, I didn't forget, but your people, your county, Pusha T, he had just released
oh yeah.
a new commercial on behalf of Arby's, and he is dissing McDonald's Filet-O-Fish while promoting Arby's new fish sandwich. You got a chance to hear it. What were your thoughts on it?
So usually I'm team Pusha T, but I can't be team Arby's because, you know, when I did eat meat, you know, a fillet of fish, go drive through, get one. That's was the go-to like sandwich. And even I tried like Wendy's, like no one's, even Burger King, no one compares to that little patty.
1000%. Whether it's the tartar sauce or not, it be hitting for me.
And let the bread be bad. You pissed off, but that small patty is worth every second of sitting in line here to get one.
And you know, my niece educated me. Actually, you know, these children still be educating me during their March break, and she educated me to say, like, even with the tuna fish, it's not even all tuna.
Yeah.
We're actually eating part, well, not me, but people are actually eating like part dolphin.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So with that being said, you know, at least if you're gonna give me some mixed fishes in a patty or whatever y'all selling me.
I'm trying to figure out how much they pay him to do that rap, because they had to pay you a lot to do some art. Like, who does that?
Okay, hot take. Hot take is probably not going to be the most popular, but a part of me, I was catching a lot of subliminals, even though I feel like he's not allowed to say things about Drake, given this whole J Prince thing, etc.
Okay.
But a part of me can't feel like when he was talking about clown and this and that, like he was subliminally trying to like get at, you know, my side. And I feel like, Pusha, is this going to be your new steez? You're just a diss track man. You built your career up to such regard, like you're still an amazing spitter, and I just feel like this can't be your career trajectory now, where you're just known as like the diss man.
Yeah, I mean, but some people are. I can't think of who I was thinking in my head, but I mean, I hope not, because like you said, you make good music. Nobody wants to hear someone dissing someone every single song or every other song. They want to hear your music and what you have to say. So no, I definitely agree. I don't agree with this Arby's thing. Like, I so don't. And I heard it because at first I thought it was like fake, but to hear it, it's like, this what we doing now?
And man, say, you know, my fish tipped the scale. I'm like, all right, bro. I've had enough.
But I can't look. No shout outs to 757 right now. No.
But I will say, you know, he like ba, you know, him, No Malice, they did write that or co-wrote that. And it's one of McDonald's biggest jingles to this day. And they didn't pay them properly. So
that may be it too. So yeah, he may have some beef with McDonald's right now.
Right? He's like, if y'all paying me, I wouldn't have had to go over to Arby's. But we'll see if this ups Arby's sales. I'm gonna look.
Like
I'm
my
gonna look
kids
and
say,
see.
even though I like Arby's, they be like, "Who eats Arby's?"
I don't.
I mean, I like Arby's. See, I only eat it because of the mozzarella sticks and the curly fries. That's it.
That's what I was just about to say. I'm like, people always be like, but they got the curly fries, and I'm like, great. But when I'm feeling for different fries, even Popeyes Cajun fries will get it before I'm like, let me go find out Arby's. Like, there's not even a lot of Arby's around. Like, even like being from Toronto, I remember the only Arby's I really remember seeing is like by this place like Black Creek Drive. I know you wouldn't know, but like it's really not the main like
it's not that many. Even as a kid, I used to get sick, gag looking at the roast beef sandwiches and stuff. Like, are we really getting some warm lunch meat to eat? Do we have to eat this? That's what I said. The only reason I started eating Arby's is because of the curly fries. And the one thing I did like is that not all, some, when you go in there, they, take your number. It was more clean. So that's why I would,
because nobody's going
a lot of things from there. But it's probably clean because ain't nobody coming in either. So
I feel like it's a Trump supporter type of restaurant. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, now I can't eat no more curly fries.
I just feel like I never really met someone that's like, oh yeah, I just got some Arby's, or like fans will even risk their belly with Taco Bell before they go to Arby's, yo. Like there's so many other places fans will go to run their belly before they're like, I'm gonna go get Arby's.
And I look, and when I do, I get so disappointed when my fries don't be hot. And I'll be like, I came all the way over here for this mess.
And watch me now go fall for it. And I'm like, all right, let me go find an Arby's and see what these fries are about. And I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be disappointed. Get the
barbecue sauce with the fries. If you eat the fries, you gotta get the barbecue sauce.
All right, I'll give it some thought. But yeah, so Pusha T, I don't know if this is it, but I see what you're on. Congratulations to a deal. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I'm really finding the positivity within things, but it's not blah 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 blah. I'm loving it. No. It's not.
We'll see how that works out.
We'll see. So what did you like? What are we sending the people off with this week? What were our final words?
Just enjoy family and enjoy the people that are around you. Let's really care instead of assuming that everybody is okay, because they're not. So let's really take the time. If you see somebody acting crazy on Instagram or on Facebook or social media in general, like really check on your friend to make sure they're okay. Because sometimes those rants are cries for help.
1000%. And it's like, you don't want to have taken that just for entertainment. And then God forbid you hear something in the news or, 1000%. And especially even with everything people are doing, running your businesses and everything, creating out there, it's like, for me at least, when I dial it back, the purpose behind what I'm doing is to give my family and legacy a better life. It's not a me thing. It was definitely something started to want to improve life for my loved ones and everyone around me. So yeah, 1000% with that. I want to thank you guys for supporting us another week and watching Eat Fruit Pod, EFP family. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You're following Natasha Renee _ the creator. And yeah, you're supporting just Black women. We're still in the tail end, but it's still Women's Month. So definitely support your queens and those around you. Let's not wait till Mother's Day comes or all these calendar forced days, just still show love to those around you. Yes. And I think that's it for me.
Thank you. Good night, you guys.
Night.